This is a quick look out of Acts and Matthew at Judaizing. What we'll look at is the Judaizing that the Pharisees did, and believe it or not, the Judaizing that Jesus did. That's quite amazing. So first of all, what is Judaizing? Well, the Pharisees, their form of Judaizing was, if you read Acts chapter 15, is, "But there rose up certain of the sect of the Pharisees which believed." So they were believers in Jesus. And they were saying that when the Gentiles came in, that it was needful to circumcise them, to command them to keep the law of Moses. And so as you read through, there was a debate about this, because they were asking grown men who were uncircumcised to be circumcised. And that was the Judaizing of the Pharisees. Now, that's been misrepresented to be anything keeping of the Old Testament law. Judaizing is how that's being misrepresented today. And that's not what the actual Judaizing was all about. It was about circumcision. Because here's the actual how they resolve this. "But we write unto them that they abstain from pollution of idols, and from fornication, and from things strangled, and from blood." And that is how they solved this issue. They didn't need to be circumcised, but they did need to abstain from idols. They abstained from fornication, which is a keeping of the Old Testament law. And they also had to keep certain of the food laws. Yes, to abstain from things strangled and from blood, which they were bound to keep the kosher aspect of this as well. So when Christians tell you that everything has been passed away, that's not quite true. The Judaizing of the Pharisees was not accepted by the apostles. But now let's look at Jesus and how he actually Judaized. Let's look at that. Now in Matthew chapter 7, I'll start in verse 21. These are the words of Jesus. And when you understand these words, this is quite Judaizing. "Not every one that saith unto me, Lord, Lord, shall enter into the kingdom of heaven, but he that doeth the will of my Father which is in heaven." Now he's going to go on to explain what that will of the Father is. "Many will say unto me in that day," which it sounds like he's talking about the day of judgment, "Lord, Lord, have we not prophesied in thy name? And in thy name have cast out devils, and in thy name done many wonderful works." Now this doesn't sound like the Saturday night bar crowd we're talking about. This sounds like Christians in the church. So this is the context of this. So, "And I will profess unto them, I never knew you. Depart from me, ye that work iniquity." Now, this is interesting, and this had confused me until quite recently. How could these people doing good works be sent away by Jesus? And the word iniquity is the key. This iniquity right here in the Greek is a 458 iniquity, which is what Jesus spoke of when he used the word iniquity 4 times as much as any other iniquity. And what this actually means is that these people that were doing good works in the name of Jesus, they were committing iniquity because of what this means. It means, the literal translation is a refusal to be subject to Jewish law. So they refuse to be subject to the law. And that would be the law, the 10 Commandments. And that's what I'm seeing today. We're under grace. It's passed away. We're under a new covenant. Well, that new covenant is based on Jesus. And his words say, if you don't keep the law, the old covenant, you were a worker of iniquity, and he never knew you. Now, Jesus, by this, is the ultimate Judaizer. So, I'm looking at Judaizing Jesus' way as being a good thing. We should keep the 10 Commandments. We shouldn't steal, lie, commit adultery, or dishonor the Sabbath.